Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws of God, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, 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 I'm searching. Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our fathers going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history?
Yo, we're back. Welcome back, y'all who are tuning in. You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History Radio Show.
We're back
live.
The original cast is back. It's been a while.
Yo,
baby.
Round of applause for that. Round of applause
Cat
for that.
back in the building.
Cap is back. Uncle Saheem is back.
I was back since last week.
He's back. Uncle Saheem is back.
Right.
These are the frequent original cast.
Visitors.
Yeah.
I'm
All
back,
right.
but I'm not back. Spiritually, I'm still in Africa right now.
Yeah, I understand. I'm in there too.
Back and depressed.
I wish.
I'm gonna be quiet this episode.
Carrie's talking about the fruits.
I'm
the
depressed,
difference
man.
in the fruits. Huh?
I'm depressed right now. I'm gonna be quiet this whole episode.
Damn.
The music, yo.
Go ahead, Cap.
That cat.
What's going on, man?
Speak your truth, man.
Speak your truth, man.
You know what I'm saying? When I came off that plane, man, and that wind smacked me in the face, it was a nice, warm welcome welcome back to Babylon the Great.
Yeah.
Then
Back to hell.
back to hell.
Yeah.
All praise to the Most High, man. I'm back, you know,
Yeah, man.
on an old
See?
radio show.
Yep.
See, that's the same spirit with Moses, man. You rather suffer, with the people of God.
Yeah,
Right.
temporarily, shoot. I had an opportunity. I'll get the hell out of here.
We're back. We are officially in the time of the Gentiles, the Greek Empire. Right, we, last week ended with Persia, with Nehemiah being an honorable man and cleansing and reforming Israel along with the help of Ezra. All right, so now we're entering into the time of the Gentiles with Greece. All right, so Daniel 10. Somebody's playing the background, the introduction.
Ofsaim.
Is that Upper Saheem?
Yes, that was Ofsaim.
Yes, sir, that was me.
Thank you, Upper Saheem. Thank you,
I
appreciate
just
you.
love the intro.
Thank you, sir. So we'll get Daniel 10 and start verse. Just read the whole chapter. All right.
I'll try. As long as we don't have Sesame Street reading over here.
Oh man.
Daniel chapter 10, verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
So Daniel is seeing Christ here. This is Daniel seeing Christ in the heavens, all right, in the vision. This is before Christ is even born, all right? And it says, like in color to polished brass. Meaning this is a black man he's seeing in the vision wearing green, all right? This is the Messiah here. And he spoke very loud. Go ahead, read on.
And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision. But a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore, I was left alone. You know what that reminds me of, Deacon? Acts chapter 9. Remember, it says some saw the vision and some didn't?
Yeah.
Some heard the voice and some didn't?
They felt something. And it scared them off.
And verse 8.
So whatever Daniel was seeing, man, there was power behind that vision to the point where those around him felt something. They were terrified. They were quaking. They were scared. Ran off. Go ahead.
Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words. And when I heard the voice of his words...
His words is referring to the same guy back in verse 5 and 6. Christ himself in verse 5 and 6. All right? Go ahead.
Then when I was in a deep sleep on my face, and my face towards the ground. And behold, an hand touched me.
Got a big ass piece of lint in my bed. No one's telling me nothing. For the
wrong
past 2
with
hours, man. That's all
Yeah?
right. Oh, go ahead.
That? The cameraman. Wow.
Oh, you guys. Go ahead. It's told me. I can't get mad at them. Go ahead.
Northern Kingdom.
Go ahead.
And behold, an hand touched me, which set me upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thy heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days.
21 days. Go ahead.
But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me.
Michael, the archangel, one of the chief princes came to help me. This is Christ talking to Daniel. Go ahead.
And I remained there with the kings of Persia.
And they remained there defending the kings of Persia. So what's happening here? We're going to find out defending them from who. Read on.
Now, I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. For yet the vision is for many days.
The time of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And when he has spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remain no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me.
Right, he's weak. Go ahead. What are you seeing? Go ahead.
Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto thee, and strong. Be strong. Yeah, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my word speak.
Let my Lord speak.
Let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me.
Go ahead.
Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee?
You know why I'm here? Go ahead.
And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth. And there is none that holdeth with me in these things, but Michael your prince.
Right, Michael your prince. Michael your prince. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 11, verse 1.
No, so read verse 20 again. I'm sorry, read 20 again.
Verse 20. Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia.
So when you read go back to verse 13.
Verse 13. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia.
So what's happening here is we're reading about as angels intervening in war with empires. So it says here, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. And lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. So what's happening is whenever there's a war going on with empires, there's a lot more going on than we think. Look at it. There's certain powers that are fighting against each other in the midst of this battle. So Christ and Michael were pretty much involved in pretty much the downfall of the Persian Empire. Okay, and they're the ones that and Persia was pretty much fighting against the revolts of Greece. Okay, because when you read, the Persians were fighting against the Greeks for power. All right, go to verse 20 now.
Verse 20. Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia.
I will return to fight with the prince of Persia, to mean by using who? Read on. By using who? Read on.
And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come.
See, and when I am gone forth, so Persia was basically resisting against enemy nations, going into Greece. So he's saying, I was fighting against Persia, and Persia withstood me means there was a war. Persia was fighting against the Greeks. there was war going on between the Persians and the Greeks. So he said, I'm going to remain with the Greek. I'm going to remain with Persia and try to have them overthrown. So, and then you read 20, he says, behold, he says, the prince, it says what? It says, the prince of Grecia shall come. So meaning, verse 13, Persia is resisting against the Greeks. Then verse 20, Greece finally prevails. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right here. Now, to give an example of that, I didn't write it down. I think it's in Maccabees where it shows you that. About how there's something that's more.
Oh, the apparition.
Yeah, apparitions. Give me
What was it, second Maccabees?
I think it's in the beginning chapters.
It's in second Maccabees 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's two of them. Hold on.
It's 2 times. I think it's Maccabees 3 and 1 and Maccabees 10.
Hold on. Hold on a second. No, it's 5. 5 and verse 1. Second Maccabees 5 and 1.
Second Maccabees chapter 5 verse 1. About the same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And then it happened that through all the city, for the space almost of 40 days, there were seen horsemen running in the air, and cloth of gold,
Cloth of gold.
of gold, and armed with lances, like a band of soldiers, and troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another, with shaking of shields, and multitude of pikes, and drawing of swords, and casting of darts, and glittering of golden ornaments, and harness of all sorts.
Verse 4, watch this.
Wherefore every man prayed that apparition might turn to good.
So the biggest example I can give y'all is what's happening here is that whenever nations go against each other, these nations possess power. There's spiritual powers that these nations possess that give them their power to rule. America has spiritual powers that surround it that give it the power to rule. That's why Russia won't go against it, China won't go against it, because there's angels behind the scenes that make the moves. They're the ones behind the scenes when there's wars going on. When a nation loses, those angels are allowed to win against those angels over that nation. That nation loses its power because the angels or the spirits that surround that nation lose against the others. So Christ and Michael, in the instance of Daniel 10, were responsible for Persia having the power it had. Remember, Daniel 7 talks about each beast will rule one behind the other. Why? Because there's spiritual powers in high places, angelic powers that are the ones who are responsible for either giving the power or allowing it to be removed. So you have oh man, you have Christ and you have Michael. Brothers are dropping bombs over here,
and brothers suffering,
and the
other brother is suffering for it,
and not from the soundboard.
Hey, Deke. Hey, Deke, to back you up on that.
You want to talk now? You want to talk now?
Hey, Deke, and to back you up on that, there's a show called Black Clover when they showed the spiritual, like I said, what you was just bringing out in concern of the spirits behind the world empires. There's certain apparitions of spirits that feed these rulers information to be able to rule or control, or even information that's given to them to make the atom bomb,
To go to war,
to go to space.
Technology, right, all of that.
There's high-level demons. Remember that in Black Clover, you have Lucifer, the demon.
Oh, Lucifero, yes,
Lucifero, and you had 2 more other demons that there was a top.
Yeah, yep.
And
Lucifero was the top one.
And it was feeding them their powers.
And you have Magicula.
Magicula, yep.
She's Ashtoreth, and you have another one, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But,
And also, Deke, in that
hey,
court-
man.
in that court-
Hey, man, come on, man. Let me speak my truth.
Yes, sir.
Good. And on top of that, me and the deacon was speaking the other day concerning during the Vietnam War as well as World War II.
Oh, yes.
And countless times throughout history, you had different, like Alexander the Greek could start off with first and foremost when I think it was a battle against Tyre. Tyrus.
Tyre. Alexander against I think it was Tyre. Yes.
Yes, Tyre. When remember they had the wall. The wall.
Yeah, it was an island. It was
an island.
It was New Tyre. It was a walled island, and they said that the chariots came and knocked a hole in the wall. Because Alexander was a genius, so he basically was the one that made that island a peninsula. Because he knocked a bunch of rocks down. Because he used the ruins of old Tyre, which is on the mainland, and he took those rocks and he made a bridge to lead up to the island. And then I believe that they say the chariots came, I think,
Yes.
and
And
knocked the
knocked down the
wall
wall.
down, and I was in the gap in there and burned the city to the ground. Yeah, that's one instance. Then you had
Vietnam War.
where they were the people, the boats, they were seeing apparitions or phenomena.
Yeah, it was two chariots.
Called aerial phenomena. Before the term UFOs came out, they had other terms for them.
They call it enemy
They called
in a
them
newspaper.
enemy helicopters.
Enemy helicopter.
An old New York Times article called them enemy helicopters, and they were basically destroying Esau's ships. So Esau actually lost that war, allegedly lost that war. Then you had World War II.
Hey, Deacon, just to add on to that, in the Vietnam, because you got to ask yourself a question: how's Esau just won the on World War II? And like I said, they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the atom bomb. So you got to ask yourself a question: how can a poor nation, a third world country, win against a free world nation or a world superpower that has nuclear capability?
Not win, but resist them.
Resist them, yes,
right.
yes. If Esau wanted to, they could just wipe them out with one bomb, just like they did at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, to speed up the war. But what you had is, like I said, Deacon was bringing out, you had something that they coined it. They just call them, remember, the Vietnamese, they didn't have helicopters.
No.
But so they coined it enemy helicopters in the New York Times, like the Deacon was bringing out. And the chariots would just come and sit there. So you had naval ships, they would shoot missiles at the chariots. They shot 2 missiles at the chariots. So all of a sudden, the missiles just disappear out thin air. They said, "Yo, what happened?" And they were saying that these 2 chariots, they didn't have fighter. They didn't have. The next day, they came back and destroyed the naval ship
With the same missiles that they shot them with.
Yep, the same missiles and the same bullets that they shot at the chariots. The chariots used the same bullets and missiles. And then the reason how they knew, because they couldn't find any type of guns or any type of military guns or what is it called?
Shell casings? What are you doing?
No, just like a place for the guns to come out. They didn't see anything.
Oh yeah. They didn't see
What do you
any.
call it?
The magazines.
Silos or anything. No, but off of a ship. Silos? Yeah, so they didn't have any silos. I thought silos something different.
Yeah, I thought something come
Yeah.
out the
That
ground.
Yeah, they come off the ground. It's coming off of the ship,
They
or
didn't
truck.
see any kind of like the weapons.
Weaponry.
Weaponry that can.
So they said,
he's in the military.
So it's silos.
"Oh, we
Silos.
talking like we know something." He's actually in the military.
Yeah. Silos it is. Thank you, sir.
So yeah, so solid. They said there's no silos on the UFOs.
Right.
So that's the crazy thing about that.
Right.
Deke also remember during the destruction in Jerusalem, we seen the same thing.
Right. They saw apparitions.
Before
Before
the
70 AD
destruction took place.
Yeah, they saw apparitions. They saw a sword. They saw a sword in the sky. Sword, like apparitions. That's why. Get Maccabees again. Read again, verse 4.
Awesome.
2 Maccabees chapter 5 verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore every man prayed that apparition might turn to good.
Right. They prayed that the apparition that they saw was for their benefit and not symbolizing their loss. Okay. Then World War II comes about. They saw the same thing again, and the term UFO was not known, so they referred to these things as Foo Fighters. There's a rock group called Foo Fighters, and when you look up where the origin Foo Fighters came from, it came from a rock group named Nirvana. Kurt Cobain, their drummer, gave that guy his name, and the term Foo Fighter comes from aerial phenomena that they saw in World War II. So they called them Foo Fighters based upon some old comic book. They called them Foo before UFO was coined. They called them either enemy helicopters, or Foo Fighters. So my point is that the angels, give me Daniel 4:17, real quick. Daniel 4:17. The angels always have an influence in war. In enemies rising and falling, the angels or these beings, these so-called phenomena, are responsible. Even in what they call natural disasters, volcanic eruptions, they see them. Hurricanes, they see them. Thunder and tornadoes, they see them flying around the tornadoes. There's a video I saw in space where they showed one. It was in space. It flew over the Earth. You see it, the Earth, whatever. It sits there. It leaves. The clouds start swirling around. It's a freaking hurricane. It caused a damn hurricane. So these things are responsible for nations rising, nations falling, and all kinds of natural disasters. All right, you got it?
Indeed. That's the same thing with Revelation 7.
Right.
Revelation 7, the angels hold the four
Right.
winds
7 and 1.
until they seal the service of the Lord.
Read that, Daniel 4:17.
The book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Right, the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. He's the one that's responsible for putting kingdoms up and having them brought down. He's the one that put suggestions into the king's mind to make either right decisions or wrong decisions, leading into his kingdom thriving or leading into his kingdom falling apart. In this instance, Trump being put in office is God telling the white man to make stupid-ass decisions. Likewise, at Biden. That's another bad decision.
Biden got an old, decrepit. Biden got an old, decrepit demon.
Biden is old and just doesn't know what the hell's going
old,
on.
decrepit, dumb demon.
Right. So this, but again, the power of your leader shows the power of your country. If your leader is weak and frail and feeble, that's the sign of your kingdom coming to an end. All right. So real quick, we got this thing here. It's a book. It's an illustration of Alexander and what they saw. Right.
Yes, sir.
So
it says in 329 BC, Alexander the Great's journals described a UFO sighting. 2 gleaming silver shields in the sky spit fire at his army.
That's that it?
Yeah, that's it. Just
So-
wanted to show that.
Alexander the Great,
They
they
seen
seen these things. A lot of great enemies, empires saw them. A lot of because these nations, because these things are responsible. The angels are responsible. The watchers are responsible for what they do. There's a show on Disney Plus called What If, and there's a guy called the Watcher, and it's not just him. It's a bunch of them, and their job is to watch. They can't intervene. They just watch. But they got that from the Bible. The difference is that in the Bible they intervene. They don't just watch. They watch and they influence. That's where space travel comes from. Okay, you're gonna make that suit like that. How cold is it in space? So and so degrees. How they know that? They never did it before. Because someone's telling them. How you make a satellite? You make it like this. You ever seen Einstein? How he looks? They look weird. You seen Oppenheimer? They look weird. These guys are.
They look crazy.
They're chosen. This is the left side of left side.
Those are their prophets.
These are their prophets. These are their gods. These are their prophets. Their leaders. They see things. They're given information to do these things.
I remember Futurama when he was able to build a spaceship that was able to go. Remember, you have the old man, and then he had, like I said, a clone of himself.
Yeah, Fry's grandfather.
So he built a spaceship that was faster and more capable than their original spaceship. And they said, "Yo, how's it possible that he was able to build something like that?" He said, "Oh, the dream. I was told in my dream."
Another show called Hidden Angel, I believe. Hidden Angel?
Strange
Angel. Where they had it's called Strange Angel.
Strange.
Where they had a guy named Michael something Parsons. And he basically
Jack
Parsons, the father of rocket science. Same thing when he had visions and so forth. He joined a satanic order called Dilemma, where his understanding was heightened based upon satanic worship. He learned rocket science, how to propel into space. These is all influence and power. Read Daniel 4:17 again. Read it again.
Deacon, so is it safe to say when you see little Edomite kids say that, "Oh, I'm just talking to my imaginary friend," that we got to look out for that damn demon in the future? Have imaginary friends, that demon that's right on his damn left shoulder. Tell him, "You're going to kill everybody in that school next week."
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How?
That's them listening to Daddy.
7. Those kids made fun of you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Give it to whomsoever he will, and guess what he gives them also? He gives them the power of the devil.
And set it up over it the basest of men.
And sets up over it the basest of men. The basest of the nations. Because they're base. They're beneath us.
And Deacon, remember, he was talking about the other day too. The picture that you just brought up, when it says in 329 BC, you can bring that out just one more time.
Yeah, sure.
I like the texture of these shirts, by the way. Mm-hmm. You can tell. Nice material. Cotton-based material. Like the logo. The
Yeah, man, it's
IYC,
nice.
You know,
They did a
very
good job with these
decorated.
things.
You know, been away for a long time.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I said the same thing last week.
Yeah?
Yeah, I said the same thing. It's real nice.
Okay,
What are you going
praise
to say
the Most
about this
High.
image?
Okay, yes. So it says in 329 BC, Alexander the Great's journals describe a UFO sighting, 2 gleaming silver shields in a sky split fire. Hey, remember the ones that we saw in Vietnam? It was 2 angels.
Yep,
The same
two,
way. They
same
said
way.
it told 2 angels, and it was the same one in World War II. So it seems like the Most High has operatives of 2. So with this one, when it says 2 angels, or 2 gleaming silver shields in the sky spit fire at his army. Another account, in World War II, you have 2 chariots, or they call Foo fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Foo fighters. You know why I said Foo?
Oh, yeah, because you in Ghana?
I was reminiscing for a second.
Damn.
Yeah, you know, the spirit transfigured back to the continent.
Damn.
You know, Jerusalem is my home.
No, what's going
on right
So,
Oh, man.
sorry, I was getting real, cultural for a second. I'm about to wear my dashiki next week.
Terrible, man.
Yeah, watch, I'm gonna bring some new attire to the continent, to America.
Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
so check this out. So it said the sky. It says 2 gleaming silver shields in the sky spit fire at its army. So during the Second War, there was a battle that was going on, and you had these, Edomites were back against the wall, and out of nowhere, and they was losing. So you think that okay, they're losing. How much more harm could occur to them? So they was like, out of nowhere, 2 chariots came out and just looked at them. They looked at the chariots and they started shooting at the chariots. So the chariots just beamed them with light. So all of a sudden, they said everybody just started melting on the inside. The skin internally started melting. They was burning and screaming in agony. So one individual actually survived it, and to this day, from the radiation, they're saying it's radiation. His angels shot radiation at them. And to this day, his skin is burning internally. There's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, just got to burn.
So the same thing. And there was another instance where I was telling you the angel came down, and it spat fire came out of the chariot. And it burned the tree, but didn't burn the tree.
Oh, the tree didn't burn. There was this fire. The tree
So,
was
yeah.
on fire, but it didn't burn. You know what that is?
Yeah, so the tree was on fire, but it wasn't burning.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Fire's the spirit.
Yeah. Daniel 11, next chapter, verse 1.
Daniel 11 chapter, verse 1.
So the Lord will occasionally have his angels come through and terrorize Esau. We don't, and of course they're not allowed to speak on it, unless they get really old and don't care. Because Esau swears them to silence. So when they get really, really old and don't care if they get killed or not, they'll reveal what they saw, what they were told not to say, because they're so old. Either no one will believe them, or if they get threatened that their lives will be taken. Like, well, I'm already old, so get and kill me. They don't care. 11 verse 1.
Daniel chapter 11, verse 1. Also, I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now will I show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia.
So you see verse 1. Read verse 1 again. It's heavy. Read again.
Also, I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him.
It's Daniel. Go ahead.
And now will I show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia.
So behold, there will stand up yet 3 kings in Persia. Go ahead.
And the 4th shall be far richer than they all.
The 4th is Xerxes. That's Esther's husband. That's Xerxes the first. That's the one you see in the movie called the 300. That's him. That's the richest. He was the richest. And he's the one that pretty much stirred up the Greeks. He said, listen, the Greeks are the ones that said, this guy is trying to dominate all of us here. So he stirred them up. Because under Darius, the Greeks is quiet. Under, who was it? Cyrus, the Greeks is quiet. But when Artaxerxes or Xerxes the first rose up and said, I'm the God king. I'm God, serve me. Wood and water. You watch the movie 300, you know what I'm talking about. He caused problems. That's when the Spartans started fighting against. The Spartans came against him. That's when Philip the Macedonian came against all these different Edomite divided states came against him. I'll get into that in a minute. Came against him. Go ahead. The Lord started rousing them up. Read on.
And the 4th shall be far richer than they all.
Right.
And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia.
He shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. Go ahead.
And a mighty
That
king.
goes into the Spartans. That goes into the Macedonians, Edomites. That goes into all of that. We start stirring up. Go ahead.
And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will.
And out of Grecia, a mighty king shall stand up, or the prince of Grecia shall stand up and do according to his will. That is Alexander. Daniel is talking about Alexander before he even comes into power. Letting you know who pulls the strings. The God of Daniel is telling you that Persia will start to stir up the Greeks, and out of Grecia, a king will rise up and conquer. Go ahead.
And when he shall stand up, his kingdom
Wait.
shall...
Stop at verse 3. Good Daniel 8 now, chapter 8. What happened? Daniel 8.
Daniel 8, verse 3, right? What's wrong, Officer
On the
LaCroix?
clock. He laughing over here.
That's spin chairs.
Nah, because he got this book and he ready to pull something out.
Oh my God, him and that
Oh,
book
Lord,
again.
here
He got
we
that
go.
book again.
Come on, Levi!
Him and that book again.
Yo, I'm trying.
What's in the book, LaQuat? What's in the
I
book?
didn't say
I'm
anything.
trying, man.
You love it here giggling like
Yo,
like
yo.
that cartoon, that dog.
Oh,
That little dog, he laughing and stuff. That little dog.
yo,
man.
D, Officer LaCroix's been pushing my button all day. I told brothers
Captain,
yesterday.
we told you we miss you, man.
Listen,
Your officer Aib said it the best. He said, what's the word you use?
I said Stockholm, Israel.
There you go. Right. So we missed those treatment, Cap. I mean, you know,
listen.
it's been so quiet
I
without
didn't say
you.
treatment.
Huh?
I didn't say treatment.
Treatment, bro.
I
That's
said
what it is.
abuse.
Abuse? Oh, damn.
Damn, bro.
Just keeping it real.
Yo, and to be honest, man, like Africa changed me, man. But,
Oh,
but
man.
America's in me.
Yeah.
America's in me.
But America's in
Go to
me.
YouTube. Go to Muttley Laughs. Go to Muttley Laughs.
Like
Muttley Laughs.
Africa changed me.
You can't
but
make
America
this up,
man.
bred in me, man.
What had in the book, Dick, earlier?
You know what?
Yeah, the first one.
Dig it.
Let's look over here.
It is what it is, man. I am who I am. I am whatever you say I am.
Let's play, please.
What are you talking about?
Yo, that's it, man. I'm gonna unleash, man. I can't take it anymore. This is not me, man.
Press play, please. Okay, thank you, sir.
Why you put up the
It's not
disclaimer,
working,
man?
right? It's not working, man.
Listen, man.
It's frozen.
It has to work.
It's frozen.
Listen, it is what it is, man.
Come on, press play.
This is who I am, man.
Yeah, that's the problem here, man. For the past 10 minutes. Press.
Like him and Jed's like giggling.
That's it. You getting Muttley over here, man. You laughing and
What
giggling.
happened
that
was,
took me back right
it was
there,
in the
man.
book. I showed him that where the priest told Alexander that he was gonna rule. That's what I was showing.
Oh, that. Okay,
okay.
that's in there.
Yeah.
Do I want that yet? Not yet.
See, you had a turn,
Daniel 8.
So I was showing it to him. He was like, "Yo, you in that book again?" So I
That damn
started
book.
laughing.
Oh, that damn book, man. Daniel 8 and 1.
Oh man.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ula. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns.
This ram had 2 horns. Go ahead.
And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other.
One horn was higher than the other. Go ahead.
And the higher came a blast. I saw the ram pushing westward.
And the higher can't last. I mean, the one that was higher was Persia. I made a mistake before. I taught in class about how the bear, Daniel 7, how the bear was lifted up on one side. The arm that's lifted up is Persia. The arm that's down on the bear was Medes. I said vice versa. But the arm lifted up, with the bear stands on one hand like this, the arm that's up is Persia, and the arm that's down is Medes. But the Persia comes up ruling strongest. So read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high.
So the 2 horns, so this ram had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high. Go ahead.
But one was higher than the other.
But one horn was higher than the other. Go ahead.
And the higher came up last.
And the higher horn came up last to rule, because that one, the Persian, remember, it was a Medo-Persian Empire. The Persians ended up taking over. Go ahead. The Persian Medo Empire. Go ahead.
I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver it out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, also, you holding the mic?
No, I didn't do that.
Come on, Levi!
Go ahead.
I saw the ram pushing westward.
First is that, there's Darth Vader. He's like,
Listen, I kept on looking up. I didn't want to say nothing. I'm looking
he's
at
like
IT,
Darth Vader
like,
sometime in the mic, man. He-
turn the mic down. I gotta hear that, bro.
I can't even concentrate on my reading, man. Like, I'm trying to read the...
I was at Cap yesterday.
No.
It was very cold, Cap.
Yo, I'm trying to focus on the word.
Bro, let me tell
Cap, it was at Cap yesterday. It was very cold.
bro, let me tell you the secret. Just back
What's
away.
wrong with this guy, man?
That's what I'm trying to do. I forgot to
Like the damn Haitian choir, a chorus or something.
Here we go. It slipped out. Here we go.
He's back.
Hey,
He's
back.
back. He's back.
Thank you, Officer.
Oh.
I told you, been pushing my
welcome,
buttons
sir.
all day, man. I can't take it anymore.
You said that- you said you
can't
missed
blame
it,
him, man.
bro.
It's
My eyes,
he had it coming, bro.
Yo, you said that you missed it, right? So
Yeah, come on,
I'm
all-
looking back.
All day's been pressing my
He had it
button.
coming since breakfast, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Over here
hold back.
beatboxing, Darth Vader and the freaking mic.
Hey, brothers, y'all gotta order another mic, man, with a filter.
A silencer.
No, actually,
or just switching, just give him Jen's mic,
It
man.
was just today, Cap. I was at Cap
Nah,
yesterday.
man, you do that every week. You do that.
No,
You
that's
breathe on the mic.
Bro, you got
didn't.
emphysema or something.
Oh, man.
You got COVID in your nose.
I didn't do that last week.
sensitive mic.
I didn't do that last week.
Omicron or something, man.
Omicron in your nose.
All right, man, you know what?
Where we at? What verse we in?
You got the Hatron.
No, I turned it away. No.
Verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast.
Hey, no mercy, man.
Good.
So that
Look. Jess is doing it too like this. You know what?
It's mine not effective though.
Jess, we was at Kip yesterday, right?
so that no beast
It was real
might.
cold yesterday. Come on, guys.
Oh my God. Where we at?
Verse 4. So that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
Right, Persia was mighty. Go ahead.
But he did according to his will and became great.
Wait. Read verse 4 again.
And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will and became great.
Right, read on.
And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
So now you have a ram, the 2 horns, Persian Medes, and then you have an he-goat coming out of coming westward. Go ahead.
And touched not the ground.
And he was conquering so fast, his feet didn't touch the ground. He conquered fast and quickly. Go ahead.
And a goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
And this goat had a notable horn, one horn, between his eyes. Go ahead. We're going to stop at verse 8. Go ahead.
And he came to the ram that had 2 horns.
And then this goat came up to the ram that had 2 horns. So this goat that had 1 horn ran up on the ram that had 2 horns. Go ahead.
Which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in a fury of his power.
And ran against him as an enemy. Go ahead. With full force, running against him. Go ahead.
And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him,
Hatred. Go ahead.
and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns.
And broke those 2 horns. Go ahead.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before
The
him,
goat beat the rams behind. Go ahead.
but he cast him down the ground,
And he
to
cast
the ground.
and he cast the ram. The goat cast the ram down to the ground with the broken horns. Go ahead.
and stamped upon him.
And he stamped upon him, meaning he put his doctrine upon him at this point. He stamped upon him. Go ahead.
And there was
He conquered him and overthrew him. Go ahead. Took over. Go ahead.
and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
And so the goat overthrew the ram. Go ahead.
And Deacon, that statement is going to the Hellenization.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's
Alexander
stamped.
was able to Hellenize all dark nations, and to the point where they became Greeks.
Right. Go ahead.
Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great.
The he-goat, therefore this he-goat waxed very great. What was Alexander called? Alexander the Great. Okay? Alexander the Great. Go ahead. There's a lot going on over there. Come on.
I'm gonna see a lot of chattering.
They're doing a lot over here. Come on. Reverse, you're distracting me.
Quiet.
Reverse it again.
Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken.
So, reverse it again.
Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great.
The he-goat waxed very great. Go ahead, Alexander. Go ahead.
And when he was strong,
When he got really strong, to the height of his power, go ahead.
the great horn was broken.
He died. Go ahead.
And for it came up 4 notable ones.
You know, so that one great horn, it broke. He died, Alexander. Then 4 notable ones, generals, rose up. Go ahead.
Toward the 4 winds of heaven.
And took over. 4 notable ones took over. Get Daniel 7 and 6.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 6.
Watch this. 4 notable ones. Go ahead.
After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard.
So what the Lord tends to do is with visions, he tends to give a nation different animal attributes or symbols. So for example, you read about the Persian Empire. Remember, he was a bear in Daniel 7. Daniel 8, he is a ram. He's a ram with 2 horns. So that's an attribute. Then you read about Greece being a goat, a he-goat, and now here you're reading about what? Reverse 6 again.
After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard.
So now the same empire is called a leopard. Go ahead.
And Dick, didn't Alexander the Greek have a
leopard
leopard
skin
hat?
hat. Leopard skin hat, yes. It said Alexander the Great was known to wear a leopard skinned hat.
Very flaming.
Okay, yeah, it's just flamboyant as hell. Very, very, very Louis Vuittonish.
Like, I don't know. I couldn't rock a leopard skin hat.
I don't either. Well, you can when you getting your back blown out. So reverse 6 again.
Verse 6.
Shout out to Lil Nas. Shout out to Lil Nas.
Oh, snap.
Reverse
Yeah,
6.
did he wear leopard skin hat
He
too?
wore leopard skin, all kind of stuff.
Oh, shoot.
Verse 6.
After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
So this leopard had 4 wings of a fowl. I mean, because he traveled further and faster. Go ahead.
The beast had also 4 heads.
And this leopard had 4 heads, going back to what? Those 4 notable ones. Back in Daniel 8. Go ahead.
And dominion was given to it.
And dominion and power was given to it. Now, get First Maccabees 1 and 1. Let's get into it.
The book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead.
Wait. Let me get there with you. Hold on one
Yes,
second,
sir.
because my Bible is home, unfortunately. The other one. Sorry, read my old one. Read again.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, has smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes.
He had smitten Darius. This is Darius the third. Go ahead.
So, and Deacon, to go back to your previous classes during the Medo-Persian captivity with Haman, would Haman could not?
Oh,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right there. Right after
Sorry,
this.
sir.
Sorry, I'm going. That's all right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Has smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in its stead, the first over Greece.
So this verse right here goes into what? That he-goat conquering that ram. That he-goat with the 1 horn knocking out that ram with the 2 horns. That's what we're reading right here. Okay, Philip the Macedonian who came out of Shittim. All right. Where we at?
Verse 2, sir.
No, I want to go there. Hold on. Do I want to go there? No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna deal with Philip the Macedonian. With Philip the Macedonian. Get me Esther.
13.
3 and 1.
Oh, 3 and 1.
Yeah, I want Esther.
Okay.
Chapter 3, verse 1 in the Bible. Well, Chapter 3 and 1. Esther 3 and 1. Right after Nehemiah.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1.
So remember, you have Philip the Macedonian. Philip the Macedonian is the father of Alexander the Great. It's the reason. Why am I going into Philip the Macedonian for? There's a great reason why I'm going into Philip the Macedonian. Read on.
Esther chapter 3, verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha,
Amadatha.
the Agagites.
So the king of Persia, this is Xerxes here. This is the same fourth king you read about in Daniel 11:4 that became the richest, the great and the most richest of Persian kings. This is him right here, okay? So he raised up a man named Haman, the son of Amadatha, the Agagite. The Agagite, right? Agagite. Who's that? Who is Agagite? Who is an Agagite? You'll see in a minute. Read on, finish the verse. And advanced him.
And set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
So Haman gained second over Persia. He was right under the king, right under Xerxes the first. Okay? Now, get me, so this is Haman, the Agagite, son of Hammedatha, right? Now, get me 1 Samuel 15:8. He was Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 8. And he took Agag.
Read verse 7.
Verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites.
Saul smote a city of Amalekites. Amalek is a descendant of Esau, a descendant of Edom. You had duke families, like chief families. Amalek is one of them. This is the same bastard that's in our land now, who call themselves Israelis. That's them. They always sought the land. These are our mortal enemies. You had Philistines, and right under them, you had Amalek. The first ones to attack us when we came out of Egypt ever was Amalek. They are first ones to attack us, the first. So God said, I didn't forget that. So when you guys get your first king, you're going to go and kill them for doing that to you. Kill their children for what their ancestors did. See, that's why Esau always says, oh, I didn't have you as slaves, my ancestors did. Well, guess what? When the Lord sent Saul to attack Amalek, they didn't do anything to us. Their ancestors did. That means God don't care about that.
He don't give a damn.
He's going to get you again. Some of y'all heads. He'll get you another time.
Ready or not, here I come.
Oh, he's going to start singing again.
Read
verse 7. Read verse 7.
Verse 7.
Oh, gosh. Make me forget my thought and he starts singing.
Hey, can you guys turn off the radio? Thank you.
Oh.
And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah.
And Saul smote the Amalekites. Go ahead.
Until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt.
Verse 8.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
He took who?
Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
So Agag was the king of the Amalekites. So Agag had children, and those children were called Agagites. That's who Hammedatha was. He was a descendant of this king here, Agag. Go ahead.
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
So Saul spared this dude Agag. He spared him. Of course, Samuel came and finished the job, but Agag was an Amalekite, an Edomite, and his children who survived him were called Agagites, from which Haman descends from. Okay, now, get me Esther chapter 12 and verse 5.
Esther chapter 12, verse 5. So the king commanded Mordecai to serve in the court, and for this he rewarded him. Howbeit Haman, the son of Amadeus, the Agagite, who was in great honor with the king, sought to molest Mordecai and his people because of the two eunuchs of the king.
So. What's happening here is Haman, who was set second over Persia under the reign of Xerxes I, Mordecai worked in the palace as well. And these two men, porters, just basically his doormen, were set up to kill Xerxes. Mordecai overheard their plan and had them and pretty much told on them. And Haman was mad because Haman was behind that plot of having the king overthrown. Because once the king is taken out, who takes over? He does. Right? Now, why is that important? Read again. That wasn't there with you. Read one more time.
Esther chapter 12,
verse 5 and 6.
Verse 5. So the king commanded Mordecai to serve in the court, and for this he rewarded him.
Verse 6.
Howbeit Haman, the son of Amadeus.
Amadatha is Amadatha, Going back to Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. Read on.
The Agagites.
The Agagite. The Agagite, the child or descendants of Agag. Go ahead.
Who was in great honor with the king.
Second under the king, who he advanced him. Remember that? Go ahead. Remember that? He advanced him. Go ahead.
Sought to molest Mordecai and his people.
Sought to molest, mean kill Mordecai and his people. Why?
Because of the two eunuchs of the king.
The two eunuchs that were plotting to kill the king because he was behind it. He was behind the murder plot, the assassination attempt. Now, okay, why am I going into this for? What does that have to do with Philip the Macedonian? This is Haman, the son of Amalekites, the Agagite. Now, get chapter 16, same book, and verse 10. We're going to read to verse 14.
Chapter 16, verse 10.
Watch this.
For Amon, a Macedonian.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hey, whoa. For Amon a what?
A Macedonian.
Amon was a Macedonian. Just like Philip, the Macedonian, Alexander's father. Read on.
The son of Amalekites.
The Agagite. The Agagite. So he's called a Macedonian in the Apocrypha. That's why there's certain books he supposed to take that out of there. We don't want that in there no more. Because it's bridging the gap. It's telling you who's who. Right. Go ahead.
The son of Amalekites, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood.
Because he was an Edomite. That's why. Read on.
And far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us.
And far distant because he was the one behind those two men that Mordecai told on that were going to assassinate the king. He figured it out. Read on.
Had so far forth obtained the favor that we showed toward every nation, as that he was called our father, and was continually honored of all men, as the next person unto the king.
See, as next to the king. Go ahead.
But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life, having by manifold and cunning deceits sought of us the destruction, as well of Mordecai, who saved our life, and continually procured our good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom, with their whole nation.
Go ahead, verse 14.
For by these means, he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians
to who?
To the Macedonians.
See that? To the Macedonians. So the Greeks basically infiltrated the Persian Empire and tried to take it over. But he was an Agagite. But he's called the Macedonian because they're the same thing. Edomites are Macedonians. That's the point I'm bringing to your attention. And Philip was one. And Alexander was one. Now, get me 1 Maccabees 1:1 again.
1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
So how did the Macedonians, Edomites, come out of the land of Shittim? Shittim or Kittim is going into the land of Japheth. That was a child of Japheth. Okay, give me Genesis 10 real quick. I'm sidebarring for a moment because I want you to understand that this land did not belong to Edom. Shittim was not their land. They took it like everything else.
A fugitive and a vagabond.
Right, Genesis 10, and we're going to read verse
4.
Yeah, we mentioned Japheth. My pages are jacked up.
Genesis, chapter 10, verse 4.
Read verse 2.
Verse 2. The sons of Japheth.
The sons of Japheth.
Gomer.
Gomer will be France.
And Magog.
That's Russia.
And Madai.
That's the Medes. That's the Medes there. Japheth, go ahead.
And Javan.
That's Greece, the Javanese people. That's Greeks. Land of Greece is called Javan. Go ahead.
And Tubal. And Meshech. And Tyrus.
Tyrus is Thrace. Thrace. Tyrus is Thrace. Thrace. That belonged to Japheth. Thrace. We took that over. Watch this.
And the sons of Gomer. Ashkenaz.
Ashkenaz is Germany. White men took over and said, we're Ashkenazis. Right. That's Germany. They took that over. Go ahead.
And Riphath. And Togarmah. And the sons of Javan. Elisha. And Tarshish.
Tarshish is Spain. Tarshish is Spain. That was Japheth also. They were pushed out of there also. Watch this.
Kittim.
And what?
Kittim.
Sons of Japheth was Tarshish and who?
Kittim.
Go ahead.
And Dodanim.
Kittim is Italy. Kittim or Shittim is Kittim. It's not Shittim, it's Kittim. Kittim is Italy. Kittim is Italy. These are Japhetic lands, as well as the Far East islands, like the Hawaii. That's Japheth too. All the isles, they took that. Crete, they had these islands, but something happened. Something happened that they lost those lands. Now, read again. 1:1, verse Maccabees again.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1.
So how did Edom come out of Kittim? Because they took that land over.
Take everything.
Took the land over and assumed the identity of the people. The bishop had taught a class way back about the history of Japheth and how Esau, who became the Greeks, the white man, took over, conquered the original inhabitants, and assumed their identity for so long that they actually believed that they were the actual people that belonged there first, when they weren't.
Culture vultures.
Culture vultures. Read again.
Esau's a disease, man.
Right, it's like just like Israelis. Oh, what are Judas? I'm from David. I'm a convert.
They Egyptians.
No, you're not. You converted in the 8th, 9th century. Then all of a sudden down the line, we've always been Jews. No, you were not. You were converts.
And they have the audacity to argue us, and with no historical references,
Right.
no evidence of anything, nothing to the land.
And then when you go to their encyclopedias, they have it written there, converted over.
But we're racist, Deacon.
But we're racist and we're
We're
evil.
hate
It's
group.
in their records that we possess.
We're a
Read
hate
it.
group.
Read it, please.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse
Okay, another example. Australians. The original Australians were black people. That's Japheth. Now, Jake's over there also, but predominantly, that is Japheth. Then the British came over there, dropped their prisoners off there, and those prisoners took over the land and damn near mutilated and had a damn genocide and killed out the original Aboriginal Australians, and they became Australians. They became South Africans. They became Jews. They became Americans. When Native Americans was here first.
Speak your
Israel
truth,
was here
Deacon.
first.
Speak your truth.
You're a West influence.
Speak your truth, Deacon. Let it
You
out.
understand?
Let all that out, Deacon. Yo, put the music on, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Put the Speak Your Truth segment on.
Please don't. Please don't.
Deacon, come on. Bring it. Let it all out, Deacon.
I'm done. I ran out of steam. At this
That's
point.
it?
That's it, man. I ran
No,
out
you
of
got
steam.
more in there.
Listen, it'll come out
I
some more.
felt the
later.
intensity in that thing.
It'll come out
Yo, I
soon.
started getting angry. I was about to speak my truth, too.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the Speak Your Truth music.
Nah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll find-
Like some type of Beethoven with some intensity, like strings in the background.
Wow.
Some
Oh,
trumpets.
my gosh.
You know, yo,
What?
yo, I see like a whole orchestration behind the Speak Your Truth
Oh,
segment. Hey,
gosh.
brothers, we're gonna speak after class.
Wow.
We're gonna have a Deacon Athan Speak Your Truth segment.
Where we at? Verse 1 again, please.
Yeah, orchestrate that.
Oh, my God. Verse 1, where we at? Verse 1 again? Maccabees?
Verse
1.
1.
So far we went over that Japheth had Kittim. Okay, and Philip came out of Kittim because they took over that land. Read again.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
See that? He reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So Philip the Macedonian who came out of the land of Kittim because they took the land over. I'm going to get there in a minute. Now, get me the Persian captivity pamphlet. I want page 17. Page 17. Yeah, some of them are still there. The Aboriginals are still there. They weren't completely killed off, but they are the evidence that they're the evidence that the ones who call themselves Australians are not the original Australians. So yes, they weren't killed off entirely. They still remain there to this day. Yes, but in a very, very low position.
This demon is like Mystique.
Right, pretty much.
Well, I'm reading deep on the highlighted. I'll read the whole thing from the top.
Just let me see. Just read the Persian kings were.
The Persian kings were Cyrus, 538 to 529 BC, conquered Babylon and allowed the Jews to return.
Right.
Cambyses, 529 to 522 BC, stopped work on the temple.
Right, the Greeks are cool when he was around, when he was ruling. Go ahead.
Darius the First, 521 to 485 BC, authorized completion of the temple.
The Greeks are cool when he was ruling. Go ahead.
Xerxes, Ahasuerus, 485 to 465 BC. Esther was his queen.
That's when he started causing problems. Go ahead.
Artaxerxes the First, 465 to 425 BC, authorized Nehemiah to rebuild Jerusalem.
Right. Go ahead.
Xerxes the Second, 424 BC. Darius the Second, 423 to 405 BC. Artaxerxes the Second, 405 to 358 BC. Artaxerxes the Third, 358 to 338 BC.
What does that say?
Blow it up some, brother, so I can see.
Aces.
338 to 335.
ACs. I don't know. Go ahead.
Arces.
Arces.
Okay, I'll praise.
Darius the Third.
Darius the Third.
Darius the Third is the guy we read about in 1 Maccabees 1 that was conquered by Philip the Macedonian.
Go out. So
Darius the Third. That's him there. Go ahead.
335 BC to 331 BC.
Uh-huh.
He was defeated by Alexander the Great.
Because I believe Philip the Macedonian was assassinated by his lover. His male lover. That's why he wasn't successful in beating Darius III. He was warring against Darius III, but he got killed, I heard, by his lover. Because the Greeks did not like women. They used women for procreational purposes, but they did not like women. They used them to make more of them. That's where the term misogynist comes from. Misogyny. They hate women.
Hey,
it's a Greek word.
Can I bring out a scripture, Deke?
Yeah, the Greeks did not like women.
Can we get Deuteronomy 32?
Not all of them, but majority of them. Alexander the Great also was a homo.
That's why they got a lot of these
Homosexual.
pedophilia rings and there's a lot of these laws being passed concerning, homosexuality.
Yeah.
What verse, Cap?
32, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 32. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom.
Their vine, Esau's vine, is as the vine of Sodom. The vine is supposed to feed the grape. Their grape, what's feeding them is what? Homosexuality,
right.
Transgenderism. Mm-hmm. You got damn fish being fed through that damn vine. Mm-hmm. Go on.
And of the fields of Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
Their grapes are grapes of gall. Mm-hmm. Their clusters are bitter.
So the very making of Esau is the root of homosexuality. Their vine is a vine of Sodom, and their fields of Gomorrah. That spirit is embedded in them. When it comes to us, like I said, homosexuality really wasn't a thing in a black community. We didn't accept it at all.
Well, the Ham started that thing off.
Yeah, except for Benjamin.
Oh,
That's one of the tribes that, and then Levi during the Olympics, they decided to go off and go run around butt naked and then swing a discus.
Shots is taken right
things
now.
swinging all around. Greeks, look at me.
Shots is taken.
wow.
But that wasn't really customary within our nation. What? What'd I say?
Go ahead, Cap. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Can you read that again? I said something?
I got you, Cap. Says, for their vine is of the vine of Sodom.
Their vine is of the vine of Sodom. When you see Caucasians, their mind or the way of thinking is completely contrary to the way we think. When they're thinking, okay, how can I, in God we trust, but at the same time, we're going to try to legalize homosexuality. We're trying to legalize and make everybody accept us, and to the point that we're the dominant speech or we're the dominant way of thinking, dominant way of life. Go on.
And of the fields of Gomorrah.
And the fields of Gomorrah, go on.
Their grapes are grapes of gall. Mm-hmm. Their clusters are bitter. Mm-hmm. Their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps.
So their whole makeup, their whole being is the root of Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's what we're seeing back during the time of the Greeks, leading all the way up to America.
Yep, no doubt about that. Give me Greek captivity pamphlet. I want page 20 and 21.
Damn, Levi's been quiet today. What you guys got up to sleep?
Well, no, LaQuat was very loud today. He's in the mic.
That's why I took my mic over.
What's going on, Osain?
Nah, I don't want to go beside your point. I had this book, I mentioned it to you a couple of times, but y'all be laughing at me every time I bring up books. So I
The book from earlier?
Nah,
You told me? Not yet.
Nah, not that one. Not that one.
Okay.
It's called Phallus.
Okay.
And it shows you during the Hellenistic times
Mm-hmm.
that until the heathens, the Romans, the Greeks had our book, the
Mm-hmm.
Bible, they had no sexual moralities. And they showed you the sexual relationship was between boys
And men.
more than women.
Right, it was.
Yeah.
They believed that there was no stronger relationship than with a man and a boy.
Right.
Above a woman.
And even if you search it up, homosexuality in ancient Greece, it says it right there.
Yeah, it's verbatim.
It says, like, the people that are governing right now, like, we find it strange why Catholic priests are molesting little boys. That's been in their culture way before
Right.
they adopted Christianity.
Greco-Roman Catholic. Greco-Roman
so,
Catholics.
Officer Haim, so when you was doing your research, what made you type in phallus?
Because I have the book, Captain.
You have the book?
Yes, sir.
How did you come across it?
How do you come across it, sir?
Because I'm going across books.
You know what? I got time for y'all, man. Y'all in trouble, man.
Yo, you see in this
obtain this?
captivity, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you read, it's a problem. If you don't read, it's a problem.
Did you acquire this book before the truth?
Oh, my
In the
gosh.
In the truth, sir.
In the
Okay,
truth,
because I
sir.
never came across a book. But Jess, you ever came across a book called phallus?
Hell no.
Did
You
what
know
about
why? You know
No,
why?
I'm not coming across the book called Phallus.
You
Because
know
our
why?
mind are
Because you didn't
pure.
even know.
We have pure minds. We have pure virgin minds.
Wow, man.
What is an obelisk?
Huh?
What is an obelisk?
I know what that is.
What is it?
You tell me.
Is it a phallus?
Huh?
Huh?
Ain't part of our culture.
Yeah, this man. I know what an obelisk is, man. Anyway, page 20. Page 20 from the top.
We
We're gonna
love you,
stop at ruled Egypt.
All right, yes, sir.
All right, this is the pamphlet of the Greek captivity, 333 to 134 BC. Alexander the Great conquered. Remember, it says the great horn was broken off, and 4 notable ones rose up and took over because he started to conquer by 20. He conquered everybody. The dark nations by the age of 32. He died within 12 years. So I believe from syphilis, because these, shout outs to you sodomites out there. I mean, this guy made you very proud. You Edomites out there. So read that. Greek Caucasians.
Greek Caucasians.
And the reason when I like that it's written in Greek that way, Greek Caucasians, because the original Greeks were black, dark as night. Now you got these Greek Caucasians now. Read on.
Greek Caucasians are all descended from Esau, the children of Edom.
Yep.
The Bible calls them red because of their complexion, and the blood shows in their skin. Read Genesis chapter 25, verses 21 to 34. The reason they rule and have conquered all the dark nations of the earth today is because of the blessing the forefather Isaac gave them in Genesis chapter 27, verses 38 to 40.
We're going to read that after I bring something out before. We'll get that after this. Go ahead.
The Greeks were the beginning of their power.
The Greeks are the beginning of their power. That's why you examine European culture. They always put emphasis on the Greek Empire, the Greek Empire, the Greek Empire. If you ask a European before the Greeks, where are you? They can't answer that question. When you ask Europeans, okay, your history is great. Yeah, you guys are powerful. Where were you before the Greeks? What were you doing? Where were you? What were you doing? There's no answer for that. Read on.
Being united under Alexander.
Right, Alexander was the one who was successful at uniting the Greeks against Persians, because Philip the Macedonian, there were different states of Edomites. Alexander was the one that was responsible for bringing them all together. All right, go ahead.
Read First Maccabees chapter 1 to 7. Alexander the Great begins campaign against Persia
We're going to stop at ruled Egypt. Go ahead.
and defeats Darius III at the river Granicus in Anatolia, Asia Minor. Alexander 333 BC. I'm sorry. Alexander the Great defeats the Persian under Darius III again at the Battle of Issus, capturing the Persian queen and her children. Alexander refuses Darius' offer of ransom and part of his empire. He takes the city of Tyre after siege. End of Phoenician Empire.
Right, the Phoenician Empire is Tyre. They get overthrown, and that's, remember, he destroyed. I went over that in my class way back when he goes to the island. We mentioned that earlier. How the chariots came and put a hole in the wall, things of that nature, and that was the end of the Hamitic, so-called Hamite Empire, Phoenician Empire, because the Phoenicians is actually us. We took over that empire or that business. Go ahead.
Alexander, his military, entered the land of Israel and marched towards Jerusalem. He was met by the high priest Jaddua, clothed in linen and purple, and scarlet, with a mitre having the golden plate whereon the name of Yahweh was engraved.
This is what Laquat was talking about. Go ahead.
And a multitude of priests dressed all in white garments. Alexander, having dreamed that very moment, dealt peaceably with the Jews.
So he dreamed of that encounter with these priests at that moment. Go ahead.
And the Levites sacrificed on his behalf in the temple. The priests did also show Alexander the book of Daniel regarding the great he-goat that should totally smite the Persian Empire.
See, so they showed Alexander he's in the Bible. He's prophetic. Before he was born. Before he came into existence, the priest said, listen, this is about you.
Man, that's
you're
crazy.
going to become king in place of your father. Go ahead.
Totally smite the Persian Empire. Alexander believed it prophesied of him. Antiquities of the Jews by Flavius Josephus, books 2, chapter 8.
Go ahead.
Alexander destroys the city of Tyre after siege.
Book 11, chapter 8.
Sorry, book 11, chapter 8.
Right, go ahead.
Alexander destroys the city of Tyre after siege. End of Phoenician Empire.
Right, that's the end of the Phoenician Empire.
Hey, Deacon, that's the same thing that happened under King Cyrus. We did the same thing.
Yep,
we
same
read
thing
to
with him.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 14.
Same thing, before he was born. Yep.
And he believed it too.
He believed it as well, right, and gave reverence. You got, we're going to stop, page 21, ruled Egypt. We stop there. Go ahead.
All right, 332 BC, Alexander invades and conquers Egypt. Foundation of Alexandria. 331
So
BC.
Alexandria, Egypt is named after Alexander the Great. Alexandria, Egypt is named after Alexander. Okay, go ahead.
Alexander renews Persian campaign and defeats Darius III at Arbela and ends the Persian Empire. Alexander seizes Babylon. 330 BC.
He takes Babylon over and rules from there. That's his home. He makes Babylon his home. Go ahead.
Darius III is assassinated, leaving Alexander in complete control of Persia. 329. Alexander marries Roxana in a symbolic gesture of uniting East and West.
Right, of merging the cultures together. So he so does. He merged the Persian culture and the Greek culture together. That's what he did. Go ahead.
327. Alexander begins invasion of India. 326. Alexander wins the battle of the Histopes, but his army refuses to go any further east, and he has to retreat. Second Samnite War to 304 BC. Roman troops are defeated and humiliated. During the war, Appius Claudius builds the Appian Way from Rome to Capua, near Naples, to help move Roman troops more easily to the war area.
Right, so Rome is coming up also.
320.
Greeks ruling right now. Go ahead.
323. Alexander claims to be the son of Zeus. Alexander dies at Babylon, age 33.
Yep. Age 32, 33. He was 20, 21. He died 12 years later. Go ahead.
His body is buried at Alexandria, Egypt. Alexander Empire divided between his 4 chief generals.
The 4 notable ones. The 4 heads of the leopards. Same thing. Go ahead.
Alexander the Great's general argue over divisions of his empire.
They start fighting over who rules what, who takes over what. Go ahead, because he had no kids. He had no children left behind. Go ahead.
To 319. Ptolemy the First Soter takes Egypt and rules as satrap governor in Egypt to 285.
He rules what? It says rules Egypt?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ptolemy the First Soter takes Egypt and rules as a satrap governor in Egypt to 285 BC. That's what you wanted, right?
Well, it says stop at ruled Egypt. It stops at ruled Egypt.
Oh, it says, okay. Birth of Euclid. Hellenistic period begins to 31. Notes, divide.
Where's ruled Egypt at? Right there. So told right there. It stops at the last part. They told me ruled Egypt. So keep going.
All right. Yes.
Where you at now?
Notes. Dividing Alexander's newfound kingdom and the fate of Palestine. Right when Alexander died, his generals quarreled for control over the conquered lands.
Right, go ahead.
Read First Maccabees, chapter 1, 7 and 9. Daniel, chapter 7, verse 6.
Read that earlier.
Daniel 8 and 8.
Read that earlier.
These are the 4 main generals.
Watch this.
Cassander ruled Macedonia.
Cassander rules Macedonia. That's one head.
Lysimachus ruled the Thrace and Asia Minor.
Tyrus, or Asia Minor. That's the second head.
Seleucus ruled Syria.
He rules over Syria. Go ahead.
Antiochus Epiphanes was his descendant.
Right. So the Seleucid dynasty is from which Antiochus descends from. Go ahead. That's 3 heads.
Ptolemy ruled Egypt.
Ptolemy rules Egypt. That's the 4 notable ones in Daniel 8. That's the 4 heads of the leopard in Daniel 7. So Cassander, write this down. Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. Those are the 4 generals that took over when Alexander died. Okay? So now, get me modern, what I want. How did Esau take these lands over before that? Just before these guys. Alexander, Philip the Macedonian came out of Kittim. How'd that happen? Then we're gonna take a break real quick and come back. So any questions regarding the class? All right, call us at 267-702-6121. That's, you could call us or text us at 267-702-6121. Go ahead.
Esau's descendants are the subjects of extensive traditions in which the rabbis, with an effrontery at which we should wonder in any men.
So the author of this book is doubting this information that was spoken of by many rabbis or real Jews in the time from ancient times to the Dark Ages of the origins and traditions shrouding around the history of Esau and his conquest. Read on.
With an effrontery at which we should wonder in any other men, have set at defiance all authentic history and accurate chronology. These
So
representations
they have set at defiance all authentic history and accurate chronology, meaning time. He's contesting it, but it's facts. Go ahead.
These representations, the fallacy of which will be too obvious to require being pointed out,
But when you read further on the pages, it's not fallacy at all. It's facts. Go ahead.
may be briefly comprised under the following heads.
Go ahead.
First,
So he goes. So he starts off by saying how it's fallacy, it's false, to kind of throw you off from what you're reading. But when you read the examples, it ain't fallacy. Read.
First, that the descendants of Esau, the sworn enemies of the descendants of Jacob, even to the end of the world, were at first a small nation,
That's biblical. That's not fallacy. Go ahead.
inhabiting Mount Seir
That's true. That's not fallacy.
and the adjacent country, contiguous to the land of Canaan,
Contingent right next to neighboring. Go ahead.
that they were easily confined within their own limits, as long as the Israelites enjoyed a great and formidable empire in Canaan.
As long as Israel was ruling, we did well righteously. The nations were subjected to us. Edom was small and weak at the time. Go ahead.
But that after the powerful republic of the 12 tribes was destroyed by the Assyrians and Babylonians,
Once both kingdoms were overthrown. Go ahead.
they wonderfully increased in numbers and strength,
Our enemies increased in numbers and strength. Edom especially. Go ahead.
extended their dominion towards the west,
And they extended their dominion towards the west. Go ahead.
spread their colonies far and wide, subjugated Italy,
They did what?
subjugated Italy,
Edom subjugated Kittim, Italy, from which Philip and Haman come from. Go ahead.
founded Rome and the Roman Empire,
They did what?
founded Rome and the Roman Empire,
They founded Rome and the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
at length entirely overturned the Jewish state, which had
And as the Romans overthrew us in 70 AD, go ahead.
which had been restored after the termination of the Babylonian captivity. The second temple being destroyed by Titus Vespasian, and that in the present day, professing the religion of Jesus of Nazareth.
In the present day, now they're Christians. They became Christians as the Spaniards. Roman Catholics, it's the same people. We said today. So when this book was published, they professed the Christian faith. Go ahead.
which they were the first of all nations to embrace.
Rome was. Go ahead.
They hold the dominion over all Europe.
They do what?
They hold the dominion over all Europe.
They is Esau, hold dominion over all Europe because they conquered Japheth and became Japhetic people based upon conquering the people. They became $5 Indians. They became Australians. They became South Africans. They became Jews. Go ahead.
Esau, detaining in captivity his brother Jacob.
Well, Esau detaining in captivity his brother Jacob. Go ahead.
At least as far as regards the tribe of Judah.
As far as Judah was brought over here first. Go ahead.
till his Messiah ben David shall appear.
And they will have rulership over their brother Jacob until the Messiah returns, which means Esau is still ruling over Jacob because Christ ain't back yet. Go ahead.
Secondly,
So that paragraph right there was firstly, but that's fallacy. Yeah, okay. This is secondly now. Go ahead.
secondly, that the prophecies of the prophets against Esau, Edom, Seir, and the cities of Edom,
To be Dedan, same thing. Taman. Go ahead.
especially those of Isaiah,
So the prophecies of Isaiah, go ahead.
Jeremiah, and Obadiah,
which are the same. Go ahead. Repeats. Go ahead.
have not yet received their full accomplishment.
These prophecies have not yet been fulfilled. So Esau still has these lands and that people, his brother Jacob, in subjugation. Still in submission. Go ahead.
For that, though, the house of Esau has experienced some particular judgments of God.
Esau got some punishments written in the Bible against him. Go ahead, but they're not fully accomplished based upon Isaiah's writings, Jeremiah's writings, and Obadiah's writings. Obadiah promises them complete and total annihilation. That ain't happened yet. Go ahead.
On account of the injuries at different periods of time inflicted upon Israel.
Right, go ahead. By them, go ahead.
Yet, the final vengeance on account of that last and greatest injury, the destruction of the second temple by Titus, and the transportation of the Jews into captivity.
That's Luke 21. That's what Christ talked about. Go ahead.
In which they are still most opprobriously detained.
The children of God, Israel, are still detained from that captivity, from Rome till now. Go ahead, when this book was published. Go ahead.
Is yet impending over it, to be executed in the time of the Messiah.
When the Messiah returns. How is this fallacy? You see how demonic the man is? You wrote this? He's a demon. This is not fallacy. This is facts. Go ahead.
That this is foretold by the prophets and all of their denunciations of the severous plagues against the house of Esau, the cities of Edom, and against Mount Seir, which all belong to Rome
And
the Christians.
You understand? Go ahead. The
And-
same Christians that sold us in slave ships, them Christians, that's Edom. Same people. Spanish, Portuguese, French, Dutch, English, Danish, Swedish, all Christians. Go ahead.
And that the fate of Christians at that time
And the fate of Christians of that time, you white Christians, and Negro Christians also, go ahead.
will be far more dreadful than that of Mohammedans.
The judgment against Christians will be far more severe against Edom than it will be against Ishmael. Because they were both involved in what? The slave trade. Christians and Arabs were jointly involved in the slave trading of God's chosen people, Jacob, whom they have detained till now. Go ahead.
Barbanel particularly says,
A Barbanel, an Israelite, a real Jew, says what?
the slaughter of the Turks in the future battle will not be so great as that of the Christians.
The Turks will be judged, but not really as bad as Esau will be judged. Go ahead.
For many of the
Turks going into Arabs mixed with Esau. Go ahead.
For many of the Turks will escape, according to Isaiah.
19, right.
I think it's 60 though, 66 verse 19 or something.
Okay.
But of the Christians, Obadiah says,
Oh, the Christians go, but Obadiah says, what about Christians?
there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau.
Boom.
Oh my God.
So I don't understand what a fallacy is. I don't understand it. That's why you got Esau will put the truth out and go, oh, it's a lie, because it's about him. If you were him, you do the same thing. Now, get me Deuteronomy 27 now.
I have another page too, Dick, if you.
There's more, please. Let's get some more, please.
Hey, if you guys don't mind, pockets have been a little bit lighter recently, given a trip that I made out to Africa.
Oh, my
And there's
gosh.
certain books I haven't been able to obtain. So if you guys would like to donate to the Captain Joel Fund, but I'll be able to afford such books so that we can reign hell and damnation on Edom.
Thank you, Cap.
All praises,
All
Cap.
praise to the Lord.
Praises for that.
Or Officer Jez would like to donate to his book to Captain Joel Book Fund.
We can make some arrangements, Cap.
All right, I like
make some
that.
arrangements.
All right, thank you, sir. I
Give me
appreciate
some
you.
time.
Yes, sir.
Dick,
Time for
Micah
what?
too. Micah too about when they take over the land.
We'll get that too. We'll get all of that stuff. We're going to try to finish about 3. Finish up, take a break, come back, answer calls and questions regarding the class at 3. Go ahead.
The Greeks called this competition Agon. And for Esau, the final agony is unfortunately immortalized. His descendants include the greatest enemies of the Jewish people, the evil Amalek, Haman, and the Roman Empire.
Damn, man. Come on. This don't make no sense. It's the facts are right there in front of your face. The greatest enemies of the Jewish people, the evil Amalek, Haman, and the Roman Empire. Haman would be the Greeks, Macedonians. Amalek is the Israelis today. There's no denying this. There's no fallacy involved. We have your books. We have the information. Your mistake was allowing niggas to read.
Come on, D.
And
Speak
now
that
we
truth.
can read.
Bring it out.
D, bring it out.
Bring it out.
Red
Speak
niggas are
it-
finished.
Speak your truth. Come on.
Red niggas is finished, man.
Yeah.
You're finished.
Speak your truth, D.
Where we at? Deuteronomy 27 now?
D, that's it?
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm going to start throwing out F-bombs in a minute.
Yo, like, I
Deuteronomy
felt the
27.
intensity in what you was bringing out.
Deuteronomy 27, verse 38 to 41.
I felt that thing in my veins.
Oh, my God.
I was ready to go to war.
Regarding Isaac's blessing to Esau, his son.
Hey, what do you want, D?
Deuteronomy 27. Deuteronomy 27, verse 38 to...
Yo, you had me,
Yeah, you
man.
gotta bring him back.
Yo, you had me,
Yeah,
Deke.
he
I
was
was
a
going
wild
there
man.
with you.
Cat was a warm boat.
37.
Yeah, I was there with you, Deke.
We can get there. We go back there. We'll go back there again. We'll go back there again.
I appreciate it.
You got to be bits and pieces, man. Bits and pieces.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, Africa really humbled me, man. Like, it put a mellow spirit in me. I want that American oppression in me again.
Wow.
So I could bring out that fury, that rage, that anger in me.
Damn. 27 verse 30.
Yo, and I'm talking about
verse
Africa,
37.
Deacon. Like, you know what the scripture says?
Oh, Cap,
Shirley,
no,
just real
man.
quick, real
No,
quick.
no. You're going to make me happy and calm about hearing about Ghana, man.
No,
I got to my anger right now, man.
Oh, you the
27
anger?
Yeah, let me do it,
Yo,
man.
let's feed that anger.
27 verse 37, man.
20,
Oh, man.
Deuteronomy chapter 27?
Verse 37, yes.
It's still
verse
37.
37, yes.
I mean, Deuteronomy 27, Deacon?
Genesis 27.
27,
Genesis
okay.
27. I'm sorry. Genesis 27.
Yeah, man. Deke.
The curses.
You
Damn.
can't, man.
I'm
Listen
sorry.
up, Deke. Hit him,
Genesis
man.
27 verse 37. Because Cap is throwing me off, man.
I'm sorry, Deacon. I can't. Yo, after Deke, let's go with Fury. I got a confession to make. Genesis 27, verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his
Him,
brethren,
thy Lord, is Jacob. Your younger brother is now your Lord. Go ahead.
and all his brethren have I given to him for servants.
Go ahead.
And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
Because the blessing that Esau was supposed to receive, Jacob got it instead. Go ahead.
And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Started to cry because he gave up his birthright, which would have given him the kingdom and the covenant with God. He gave that up because he's an asshole. Excuse my language. And then he turned around and said, we're going to bless. And he lost his blessing because the Lord moved Rebekah's spirit, his mother, to have Jacob take his blessing from him or to supplant him. Because it wasn't meant for him to begin with.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
So what? So read it again. I'm sorry. Read that part again.
And by the sword shalt thou live.
So read 38 again, 39 again, 39.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Fatness of the earth means the best parts of the earth. You shall gain in possession the best parts of the earth. The fatness means the blessings of the earth, the land, the resources, the land, the resources, all that stuff. You shall gain the fatness of it. Go ahead, the best. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
And everywhere you'll inhabit those parts everywhere. Go ahead.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
That's how he'll obtain it, by the sword. He'll obtain it. He'll obtain those things through war, bloodshed, conquest. Go ahead.
And shalt serve thy brother.
And shall serve your brother. In the meantime, go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
When Israel was ruling, they were subject to us. Once Assyria came up and Babylon came and overthrew us, he gained dominion. Where? Over Europe. Over Europe. He took it over. Go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing.
And so he took over Europe. That's who you get Haman, Amadatha. That's them. And they took over Rome, Italy, and Greece, and so on and so forth, and had Philip the Macedonian and all that, and so on and so forth. Go ahead. And Esau what?
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessings wherewith his father blessed him.
He blamed Jacob. He blamed Jacob for that blessing. He said, because of you, I got that. Because of you, I'm blessed with the power to murder and destroy everything. Because of you. Go ahead.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand.
Because Isaac was going to die. Go ahead.
Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Once our father's dead, I'm going to kill Jacob. And that hatred passed through him from generation to generation until now. To the point where now he floods towns. He firebombs Black Wall Street, burns churches,
Right.
hangs us from trees, drags us from trucks, lynches us, castrates us, rapes our women, puts us in slave ships, steals our identity, puts us in ghettos and slums, poisons our food, our water. That's the hatred from Esau all the way from then until now. Because everybody knows who we are but us. America is a big bubble of privilege. Esau knows exactly who Jake is. Everybody except us knows who we are. But Esau, of all nations, he hates us the most.
Yep.
From his father till now, from father to child, that hatred is genetic. So now, get me the Greek captivity, page 20. They will never love us. The Lord has them where they'll be kind to us temporarily. Okay? But the Esau's hatred is ingrained in him against us. And you can't write that out. That's just God. That's what it is. That's just God.
Ezekiel 35 or what?
Yeah, give me that Ezekiel 35. Give me that, please.
You can't write songs, We Are the World. You can't write songs such as One Love, Let's Come Together and Be All Right.
Right. That don't make sense.
Damn, now that I think about it, what songs do Levi have? Haitians have.
Come on, Levi!
You know what?
We don't have no song, Cap. We just chopped the
One
head
of you
off.
guys are the original
We chopped the head off.
Give me
That's what we did.
singers.
Yeah, get that. Give me a Jeremiah 15,
Damn,
11.
I see Mosai took that spirit off you guys.
Give me Jeremiah 15, 11.
Took Deacon. Mosai took the priesthood.
I'm
and
not
this-
doing it, man. I'm not saying it.
Come on,
Give me
Deacon.
Jeremiah
Feed it to
15,
my
Jeremiah
madness.
15, 11, man.
Cap, the whole kingdom is weak now. Everybody fell. The whole
Give me
12
Jeremiah
tribe of
15,
Israel.
11 first. Then Ezekiel 35.
Deacon, you don't got nothing to say, sir?
No, man. I'm not saying that, man. I'm not doing it. Give me Jeremiah 15, 11. Wow.
Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 11. The Lord said, verily, it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction.
So for now, the Lord will have our enemies entreat us well with privileges, certain civil rights that he if he feels like it, he'll entertain. But there's gonna come a time where that's gonna be over. That's going to be done. That's why black folks are so complacent and so comfortable here. That's why whenever Esau kills us, we go out and march and protest and bitch and cry because that's Master Jesus. Why are you killing us? Why are you putting your knees in our neck for 8 minutes and 45 seconds, Master?
We love you.
We love you, Master. You Spider-Man. You ain't Batman.
Right.
You ain't Wonder Woman. Why you doing this, Batman?
Speak your truth.
Why you doing this, Thor?
Bring it out.
Why you doing this, Barbie?
Keep going, Deacon.
What's happening? That's so. Whenever they kill us, y'all lose your mind. When you kill you, be quiet. Shh. It's cold to the streets, nigga. Cold to the streets. Yo, keep it quiet. Yo, shh. Nah, man. I don't know what happened, officer. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. I'm blind. I don't know what's going on. Well, when white folks kill us, use your mind because that's slave mentality. But there's gonna come a time where the Lord is going to remove that kindness from them and have them put their whole foot in your black ass. And we're going to see how you guys stand then. They already started with the mandates, the mandatory jabs. Some of y'all losing your jobs. Some of y'all terrified, quitting your jobs. They making up all these new viruses and all that stuff to make you get more jabs, to kill you faster. So the Lord's already starting to slowly remove that entreatment, that entreating kindness to the point where he's even killing his own people in the process. He don't give a damn. That's collateral damage. The main target is us. Anyway, Ezekiel, please. Y'all figure it out. We're just a bunch of crazy niggas that say we're Jews. We're crazy. We don't know what we're talking about. We're bugged out here. We're just full of hate and racism. We're angry. Okay. You'll see.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir.
Stop. Sierra's Esau. Jump to verse 5. Jump to verse 5 now.
Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
They have had a perpetual hatred. Perpetual means it's generational. It's forever. It will not stop. It will not end. And the ones that's in power have a stronger hatred because they have access to all the records that we have. So they really hate us. They go, these niggas is Jews. This guy, their father, supplanted our father. The hell with them. Kill them all before their Messiah shows up. We're going to make it so by the time their Messiah shows up, there'll be no one left to save. Kill them all. Go ahead.
It has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in a time of the calamity, and in a time that the iniquity had an end.
So Esau don't give a damn about our affliction. He forwards it. He don't give a damn. Now, what I said, give me pamphlet now. We're gonna stop at Alexander destroys. I got you. Where we at? Go down. Alexander destroys. It's page 20, right? He destroys Tyre. Yeah, that's right here. Just complete this. Stop it. And end that. Alexander. End that right there. He destroys what?
You want to read? Alexander destroys.
Yeah,
the
let's
city.
read that part. Yep.
Alexander destroys the city of Tyre after siege in the Phoenician Empire.
So that part is going to lead into how when he destroyed Tyre, they fled to the Hamites from Tyre there, they fled to northeast Africa, which would be Tunisia or Carthage. And whoever survived that onslaught because Alexander was mad as hell. He massacred them. So those who escaped the island, they sailed over to northeast Africa, Tunisia. But when they got there, we were already the majority because we fled there from the time of Assyria and Babylon. So when they got there, we took over, subjugated them, and we became the Phoenicians and began to do Mediterranean sea trade along the coast of the Atlantic, and ended up sailing from the coast of Africa, and we sailed upwards into the Isles, the British Isles and Ireland, leading into the Silures, King Arthur. That's what we're going into. I went over this in my series chapters ago. Right. You can go back and watch it. I'm going to revisit that history for a reason. All right. So rather than go on break, we'll just answer any calls or comments regarding the class because we're almost done anyway. 267-702-6121. Text comments. Any comments in the class or questions, call us at 267-702-6121 or text us at 267-702-6121. All right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it for now.
Hey, Dig, like we were saying, they got that perpetual hatred for us, but they did the same thing to many other nations too.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
When you hear of the Aryan nation, quote unquote, supposed to be Esau, but they stole that identity
from the Persians.
From the Persians.
Yeah, Aryans are the elite Persians, as the Chaldeans are the elite Babylonians.
You have like the book I was showing you earlier, Greek kings as Egyptian pharaohs stole the identity of the Egyptian, and those were Ptolemy.
Ptolemies.
Ptolemy dynasty took over Egypt, stole that whole thing, you know? Shows the real nature of Esau.
They also borrowed the whole melting pot of religions and philosophies from the Persians as well. Alexander borrowed that. That's why it says he stamped upon them. He stamped on it. He borrowed it and all of that. So it's nothing new. It's not new. This is what he does. This is what Esau does. That's what Esau does. So, yeah. What else? What else I want to get?
You know,
Micah 2.
Micah 2. Yes, Micah 2 and 1. Thank you.
You know, just I still have a confession to make.
Hold on, let me get Micah 2 first.
We forgot about
Let me get Micah 2 first before you confess stuff.
I gotta speak my truth.
Let me get Micah first before you go on your rant.
Because I'm back.
You got some time too.
You know,
Micah 2.
I'm back. But I'm not fully back though.
In.
Like I feel real calm.
You're not in your
Give it
full,
a couple of weeks.
you're not in your full power, Cap.
Nah, I feel real
Yeah,
weekend.
he still got a little Africa in him. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I got a confession to make, man.
Micah 2 and
Give it
1.
a couple of weeks when
Micah chapter 2, verse 1.
when the oppression of Babylon start kicking in.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
So it says, woe unto them that devise iniquity. How do you devise iniquity? You devise it by poisoning the food, the GMOs, the water. You take you knock a lake down and you flood a black town and turn it into a lake and swim on top of dead bodies and graves and towns. That's devising iniquity. Look, okay. Look at that black town. They have gold mines. They have railroads. They're doing well. I don't like that. Hey, what's that? Is that a dam over there? Hey, if we knock that dam down, won't it flood that town? Yeah. Let's knock the dam down and flood the town. Then, when they're flooded out and they're all dead under the water, we'll build the dam back up again and call it Lake Lanier. That's what we'll do. That's devising iniquity. Hey, I know. The black man is trying to gain civil rights. You know what we should do? We should lock his black ass up, right? Give this heap of charges against him for no reason, and then have his woman rely upon us for public assistance. Give her welfare, give her food stamps, give her WIC, give her child support, give her power over her body. And then when a black man comes out of jail and he can't find a job, she won't need him anymore because she'll have our money, she'll have our welfare, and she won't respect him anymore. Hell, she won't even respect her own body anymore or her kids. That's devising iniquity. Hey, put these kids go to school, we'll have a school to prison pipeline. That's devising iniquity. I can go on and on. The list goes on and on. Criminal leasing system, black codes, Jim Crow, Juan Crow. That's all devising iniquity. Hey, you know what we'll do? We'll take these niggas, call them nigga, shave their mental history off of them, and claim their identity and say we're them. We're the original Christians, we're the Jews, and you're the Gentiles. What Gentiles you are, doesn't matter. God loves everybody. But in the meantime, nigga, go and make me a sandwich. Go in the field and pick my cotton, nigga. Because God loves you. That's devising iniquity. Read on. Woe unto them that devise, come on.
Woe to them that devise iniquity
Go ahead.
and work evil upon their beds.
And what?
And work evil upon their beds.
They sit down and they sleep on these things. They have think tanks. Let's sit down and think of this and see. And let's see how long it'll last. Willie Lynch syndrome. This can last them. This indoctrination can last generations. It'll transcend time and space. You know the trauma black folks felt? That thing is in our genes. The trauma that black folks felt in slavery is in the genes, genetically altered. The trauma we felt genetically altered us. That's devising iniquity upon the beds. That means it's always on their mind. When you sleep on something, it's a strong and careful thought and plan. It's not just, spur of the moment. They sleep on that thing. Go ahead.
When the morning is light,
Daytime.
they practice it.
When they get up from their sleep, they do it. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Because they have the power to do it. See, racism is power. Black people lack the capacity, the capability to be racist. Because to be racist requires power. Black folks can't make white folks move out of our neighborhood and gentrify it. We can't redline white people. We can't segregate schools and businesses and neighborhoods. We can't do that. That's racist. We can't pass laws that only affect white folks as a race. Name one thing black folks can do as a people that can affect white people as a race. Name one thing we can do.
I got one.
What can we do?
Keep God's laws.
Yeah, that, right. Right, we can do that.
That's what we can't speak because that's the only thing we can do.
That exactly.
And
yes.
Negroes hate that.
Right, and black folks hate that.
Right.
So, but name one thing that we can do, well, outside of that, that can negatively affect white folks as a whole. And I'll show you a racist black person. You can't. We cannot affect we cannot affect them. You can call a white man a cracker all day. As a race, that don't bother them. That don't affect them.
Right.
But you can call them a cracker, but you still paying rent to them same crackers. So-called crackers, you call them.
Feels good, though.
It does feel good, but it's a temporary high. So they laugh at you. We had tabernacles down south. We were on a boat chilling. We seeing these $5 million houses, $2 million houses with freaking glass windows,
Oh my gosh.
stone. They have freaking boat driveways, boat parking lots.
Damn.
And you call him a cracker, he go home to that? Call me cracker all day. That don't bother them. $2 million, you can drive into your home through a boat. That's some Bruce Wayne stuff I saw over there in Tabernacles. That don't bother them. So there's no way that we can't affect them as a race. So we cannot be racist. It's impossible. Racism requires power and superiority, authority. We don't have that. So therefore, by definition, it is impossible for us to be racist. Right. Continue reading.
Verse 2. And they covet fields.
So because it is in the power of their hand, they covet fields or lands. They desire lands that don't belong to them, like the Americas, like Israel, like Africa.
Europe.
Don't belong to them. Europe don't belong to them. Go ahead.
And take them by violence.
And take them by what?
And take them by violence.
By the sword, like it said in Deuteronomy 27. By the sword you shall live. Take them by violence. Go ahead.
And houses, and take them away.
And take houses away. Go ahead.
So they oppress a man.
They oppress a man.
In his house.
And his house. Go ahead.
Even a man in his heritage.
Even a man and his culture. They oppress. To the point where, you know one thing? You don't need your culture. I'll take that heritage from you. I'll borrow that. That's my heritage now. Now I'm a Jew. Now I'm a Christian. Now I'm an Indian. Now I'm an Australian. Now I'm an African. You get it now? You understand? That's what they do. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family.
Against this family, because mad nations have done this, but against these families or this family that does this stuff, that's guilty of this crime or criminal act, go ahead.
Do I devise an evil?
I devise an evil, go ahead.
From which ye shall not remove your necks.
They can't escape from. Go ahead.
Neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil.
This will be they will not leave pridefully either. They'll be humbled, and it says they shall not escape. For this time of that punishment is the time of evil. Give me a Habakkuk, please. So Esau understands that the punishment for doing that is called the time of evil. Time of evil. So what will he do? What will he do? Habakkuk, real quick. What's he going to do to avoid this evil? Why don't you ask Elon Musk what he wants to do?
Habakkuk.
You know what I want, right?
Mm-hmm. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 9.
Yep.
Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness.
That's what Michael just said. Go ahead.
That he may set his nest on high.
Nest on high where? In space. In space. Go ahead.
That he may be delivered from the power of evil.
He may be what?
Delivered from the power of evil.
He may be delivered from the power of evil. Or the great time of evil back in Micah. Says nest on high where? In space. Among the stars, like Obadiah said. Like Jeremiah said. Like Isaiah said in that same book we read earlier. Whose full accomplishments of judgment have not taken place yet. So y'all keep playing games with this Bible, man.
AD.
What we got over here? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Going back to devising iniquity, remember on the 70s movie that came out, Trick Baby? Remember they was sitting around, the dinner table.
Yep. How to turn a black man with the potential to be a leader
Right.
and make him one of them, and turn his own against him.
Or push drugs into our communities.
Right. Remember, it's a movie, a mob movie. I think it's called Godfather, where he goes at a council, stop selling drugs in our community because it's affecting our kids. Sell drugs to the niggas because they have no souls.
Damn.
Read that. Shalom, family.
Damn.
Shalom, family. I'm glad y'all are going over this. I remember Deacon saying he wasn't looking forward to it due to all the names.
I'm not. It hasn't changed. Go ahead.
And other nonsense the Greek started. However, it is pertinent to go through the Greek thoroughly because it's where most modern day confusion come from. And I can't think of anyone better than y'all to bring it out. Keep holding the line and pushing forward for us. All praises to the black God.
All praises to the black God. All praises.
Hey, D, like we just read, they devise evil. I was talking to a sister, and she said a former church member reached out to her, told her she admires the wisdom. You know, she posts stuff about the truth, and, you know, she admires that. And the question the former church member had for the sister that's now repented in the truth, and she said, well, you guys are Israelites, so do you also believe that the white man is the devil? And she was like, yes. And that was the turnoff. So I always tell people, whenever you agree to such thing, explain what the term devil means, deceiver.
Right. Because
Take out the D from devil, you got evil. And
Right.
the Bible predicts this is what this man would do, devise evil.
Right.
And he's a deceiver. He lied to you about your nationality, your culture. He stole your identity, which makes him the devil.
Right.
All evil deeds that he's doing.
Right. We got more?
Oh, that was bars right there. Evil D's.
Thank you,
You
Cap.
said that? Evil
Appreciate
D's? That you doing?
Deeds.
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 Oh, okay.
Deeds.
Deeds. Oh.
Were the Spartans Israelites? Yes, they were Israelites. The Spartans
Devil,
are Jake.
Evil. Take out the
Spartans are definitely. I went over that a
Israelites
long
are
time
Java.
ago, back in my original series. The Spartans are definitely Israelites. Also, it's in Maccabees. They were Israelites as well. That's it. That's old. That stuff there is old.
Yeah, make sure y'all
Read the
check
date. Read the dates. Make
sure
sure
y'all
it's
check them
nothing
dates.
old.
See, Jez name there. See your name.
Jabez. That's not Jez,
Is that
brother.
Jez? Oh, I got my
Jabez.
glasses on.
Yeah.
Is that new?
Looks like Jez. Jabez.
Blow it up if you can.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Jabez currently living in New Jersey. In that book, Modern Judaism, page 231, I think the author was saying the fallacy is the rabbis, Amalek, is in defiance of the authentic history and accurate chronology, those presentations.
Representation.
Right.
Excuse me, those representations.
Right. He's saying that basically that the fallacy he's referring to is the rabbis running against it. That's possible. I know that the rabbis he's referring to, he mentions a Barbanel. Barbanel wasn't an Amalek. A Barbanel was one of us during the Inquisition. He was trying to help pay off the Spanish crown to keep us from losing our homes and so forth.
And being sold into slavery.
And being sold into slavery. So a Barbanel doesn't count as a rabbi. That's why I counted it as him calling the fallacy the Jews saying that. But you could be honest. I read the rest of that that you're talking about. It says he goes in on Talmudic Judaism. That's right. You're absolutely right. He does. So it's a possibility. But I was keen on the fact that I know that when I read other books regarding that history that he's talking about, that's written somewhere else also. Right? Another book is written somewhere else?
Yes, sir.
Where they try to contest the same thing. So that's why I say he's against it. But I mean, if he supports the first and second statements, that's great. But I know I've read other places where they try to say it's a fallacy. But you could be right.
Yeah.
You could be right. It's a possibility. But all praise regardless. I appreciate that.
And secondly, I say this also because the author goes in on them hard.
Yeah.
In another
next chapter. He does.
Yep.
About the absurdity of So it's a definite possibility. I could be misreading it. But I think, he mentions rabbis. The rabbis he's referring to is Amalek. But a Barbanel was called one also, and he wasn't Amalek. So,
But the whole point is everything he was saying anyway was facts.
right, everything he was saying was facts, regardless of how it was written or how we're reading it. But it's all facts regardless. Especially as you said, page 31 to like page 241, he's burying them. So you're right, absolutely right. Anything else? Thank you for the support, though. Anybody else? Is there more? That's another one? Okay. Why you come out like that?
So small.
All right. Are they up to date? These questions up to date, right? All right.
Hi, this is Kayla. I watch Kyla. Hi, this is Kyla. I watch and study with IUIC videos all the time. This is my first time seeing our hidden history And I was wondering, is being a Hebrew Israelite claimed as a religion or our heritage?
Oh, good question. Well, a Hebrew Israelite is not what we call ourselves at all. We just say we're Israelites, period, because there's no scripture that calls us Hebrew Israelites. We're either Hebrews or Israelites interchangeably. Claiming to be an Israelite or a Hebrew, so there's various Hebrews, Esau, Moab, Ammon, there's various Hebrews, so we prefer Israelite because we're descendants of Israel. But in terms of whether it's a religion or a heritage, biblically speaking, your religion and your heritage are synonymous. They're one and the same. Their religion and your heritage biblically are one and the same. Your culture, your God, your people, that is your religion, that is your heritage. The commandments of God is the covenant of your family. First Maccabees real quick. First Maccabees 2.
While Deacon's getting that, brothers, put the number up on the, people can't see the number. They want to know what the number is.
It's 261 267 702 6121. That's 267 702 6121. So being a Hebrew Israelite claimed as a religion or a heritage, the answer to that question is neither one. In terms of, because Hebrew Israelite is not a term we call ourselves. That's something that the media calls us. They call us black Hebrew Israelites, but there's no scripture where you read the word Hebrew Israelites together. You're either a Hebrew, like Paul said, or you're an Israelite. It's interchangeable terms. I prefer Israel because we are descendants of that man. And Hebrews are a bunch of people that come out of Eber. And it is a religion and heritage is the same. Read what you got? Who got it?
First
You know what I'm talking about, right? First Maccabees 2?
It's 2:21, right?
Yeah, read that, please.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 21.
Yeah.
Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
So walk in the covenant of our fathers, going into your ancestors. The covenant or the commandments, the laws of God given to our fathers. That's called the covenant. All right, read again.
Yet
This is going into our forefather Mattathias, who's the father of 5 sons that became the Hasmonean family or the Maccabee family. He said he told the Greeks, we're jumping ahead a little bit, he told the Greeks that we will not go against our laws of our father. Read again.
Yet will I and my sons and my brethren
Our
walk
people, go ahead.
in the covenant of our fathers.
Walk in the covenant of our fathers. Watch this.
God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. Continue.
We will not hearken to the king's words. To go from our religion.
To go from what?
Our religion.
Going back to what? The law and the ordinances. Go ahead.
Either on the right hand or the left.
So, meaning there's no gray area. So, the religion and heritage are one and the same. They're one and the same. Your people and your commandments given to your people by your God, given to your forefathers, is your religion / heritage. It's one and the same. So, it's not religion or a religion in a modern sense. I'll say that. Next question. So, what we got? We're going to wrap it up soon. We got 2 minutes.
Shalom Leadership. I have a book called The Christiana. That's a
Expedition.
Apt Sinners.
Okay. Abeditione, maybe? Abedition, what? Go ahead.
Yeah. It's in another language.
figured
I
that.
was wondering if I could donate to Captain Joel Book Drive. Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. No.
No, absolutely not. We're not doing this. Who are you? What is your name? Who are you?
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's it. Hey,
Yo, what's going on here?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Listen,
Damn,
we've been
absolutely
here for
not.
a while. You know what I mean?
The animosity.
Yeah, he heard that,
Damn,
right? He
heard
said,
it.
nah,
Who are
he's
you?
absolutely not.
They ain't got mad
Well-
and asked who you were. Because you offering up Captain a book. The answer is no, emphatically no.
Yo, Deacon.
we don't know you. We
Is
gotta
there
put
more?
this on Cap.
Wow.
Exactly.
Cap, that book,
maybe-
man, the cover might be out of human skin.
Yeah.
Hey,
Damn, Necronomicon?
if
Damn.
you guys would like to generously donate to the, thank you. If you guys would like to generously donate to the Captain Joel Book Drive, you could go donate it to
iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.court and put it in the description box. Captain Joel's book drive.
Wow.
Please help me. $1 a day could feed me spiritually with wisdom and knowledge.
It really cannot feed you at all. $1 a day.
It's not gonna help. Cap.
$1 a day could feed me
Straight extortion.
as I starve.
Yeah,
Extortion.
just starve.
And this is what
Spiritually.
he comes back from Africa with.
Yep,
He's
right.
learning how to ask for donations.
Yep. Wow. Where we at now? What's this one? We got 2 more
All
questions.
right, shalom leadership, Most High in Christ bless. I know that Greeks cannot state their origins before Alexander the Greek, but what is their actual history prior to that era?
Edomites
Sister Pamela?
living in Mount Seir. That's their history. Edomites living in Mount Seir. That's their history prior to that era. Living in the mountains of Mount Seir. You read Genesis 36.
Yep.
You'll find their history right in there. Genesis 36.
The cavemen.
Living in the caves. They conquered the Horites out of there, took over, married with them, and took over that area and remained there under our rulership until under David and Solomon. And then once we got conquered, they gained dominion, and the rest is history. They took over Europe and all that.
Get acquainted with reading about Idumea.
Yep, Idumea. Idumeans, Edom, Genesis 36 is their history prior to that era. Outside of that, they're nobody. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, all praise to the Lord. Shout outs to the IT team. They did an excellent job today. And shout outs to the breakfast team. They did excellent food today. I'm full. Hiccups and all that today. It was great. Any announcements?
Yes, subscribe to our OHH, our Hidden History Radio. Like, share, turn on the notification link so you could be notified when these classes come out. You could always go back and review. Donate official donations.
You got hatred, bro.
What? You know people be scamming online.
Where's Officer
That's why
Abaddon?
I said that.
I want Abaddon back on the panel.
Donate to IUIC.Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. Also, the Boosters Club at IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. All right? The support is greatly needed.
Right, we touched on WIDA already and their homie as well. We touched on that in my series, I believe, right, Jazz?
Yes, sir.
We touched on their homie briefly, not in too much detail, but we dealt with WIDA in my series before this. So you got to go back and watch my series in the beginning when I go into us going into Africa. We go into that. We definitely go into that already regarding WIDA. That was touched on like way back. But I may revisit it again one day, but I don't like going backwards. I kind of move forwards. But we definitely touched on WIDA. Their homie, we touched on that as well. And when we go into the Constantine and the Council of Nicaea soon, no. The answer to soon is no. That's going to be way later on. We might touch on the Council of Nicaea, maybe if I go into Rome, but even that's not much to go into. It's just a council that was discussing the divinity of Christ, whether he was the Son of God, whether he was God, or whether he was a separate entity from God. That's all it goes into.
By niggas.
By a bunch of black people that ruled Rome, the Holy Roman Empire, which is a bunch of Negroes. So I might go into him, touch on that situation, maybe, possibly. All right. So just stay tuned. We'll see.
Right. Oh, you gonna say it?
If you missed class 16, as of last week, it was taken down because I showed SNL, and they got mad and took it down. So we re-uploaded it on the website, on our radio show, on our YouTube channel. So whatever episodes you missed, just go back to our YouTube channel. Our Hidden History Radio on YouTube, and you can rewatch whatever you missed that was streamed live.
Right.
All right.
So all the videos are uploaded on that channel.
On
that
our
YouTube.
Hidden History Radio.
Our Hidden History Radio.
All right.
Yep. And before we go, shout out to Captain REA, shout out to Captain Gadalai and all the officers that travel with the captains in Africa.
The deacons.
All right, and all the deacons also.
Deacon Malachi, Deacon Abiel, Captain Isaac, as well as Captain Hananiah.
They're asking about the checking if it's IUNI fundraising. Repeat it again, the website again, the fundraising. Repeat it again.
Off-sign.
It's in the comment board. They're asking about the fundraising.
I don't like off-time making announcements.
I know you
If
don't.
you would like to donate to our fundraisers, you donate to IUIC.Philadelphia at
IUIC.Philadelphia
at IsraelUnite.org.
at israelunite.org.
Put in the description box OAH Radio Show, as well as Captain Joel Book Fund.
No, leave out that part. Book fund, Joel. Leave that part out.
All right.
That's misinformation.
He said okay.
In addition, you can also donate to the Booster Club, IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. I think that's it.
Who is Japa today is to be the Tahitians, Hawaiians, Samoans, Australian Aborigines. That will be Japa today. They were pushed out. They were pushed further eastward, far eastward by Edom. That's who Japa is today. All right? What that explains. All right? So, all praises to that. And Javanese people, the Javanese, they're intermingled as well. Javanese people as well. They're also involved in that. There's an admixture of Japheth as well with Elam and Ishmael and Moab as well in those areas. All right. So all praises to the Lord for the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be touching on Greek captivity, European settlements next week. European settlements next week, all right? Touching on us taking Scotland and Britain, all right? So keep that in mind. It's going to lead into other stuff later on in the series, all right? So with that, we say shalom. Until next week, Most High in Christ bless. Thanks for joining us. Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom.
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Speaking at Don here of IUIC Philadelphia. Tuned in to Our Hidden History Radio, where we go into a deep understanding and history of who we are, according to the Bible, hidden artifacts, archaeology, the geography, all you can think of that shrouds around our history of the Bible, we go into it in depth. So Israel, like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel, Our Hidden History Radio. See you then. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. History, history.